Right then, it's a quick walk around video for quite a remarkable Civic actually. It's a 1.6 SE Plus diesel. That's not the remarkable bit. This car's had just one owner from new, lady owner, and it's covered just 21,000 miles. Finished in this lovely twilight blue metallic, which is apt because it's getting a little bit dark now, so I do apologise. Lovely car, really clean. Front of the car, lights and lenses are clear and intact. There's no cracks, no condensation there. Bonnet, very clean of course. Can't see any obvious stone chips. Near side, absolutely smooth in the panel work. Three-quarter panel, very clean. In the back, it's just obviously got that lovely crisp look you get with a low mileage car. Offside, driver side. Again, absolutely crisp. And the panels, it's literally just been washed off. It's not even been polished or anything at all actually. Really clean. Come to the back of the car, absolutely cavernous boot, and of course again in very nice condition. So coming into the back now, it doesn't really look as though anyone sat in the back of this car. It's so clean. Front and passenger side again, absolutely clean as a whistle. Full set of Honda mats with the car. Finally around to the driver's door card, again pretty much unmarked. Footwell area is lovely and clean. Passenger seat again, driver's seat again, absolutely superb condition. So we're inside the car now. Engine's running as always, so the dash is illuminated. Dashboard in beautiful condition. As you can see, upgraded stereo DAB radio fitted to this car. If I come up here, you can see 21,731 miles only. Pop the car into reverse, you've got that lovely clear parking camera, which complements the front and rear parking sensors. And that is the view you get as a driver of a Honda Civic. Absolutely stunning dashboard, it really is. See the engine running, no warning lights on at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual, pack and locking wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.6 SE Plus diesel. Car's registered WJ64ZFK, and with a, if I get back onto it, scarcely believable 21,731 miles recorded. It really is an amazing car, this one. The reason we do all of our videos, and actually especially this bit, the road test section, is just to ensure that if anyone's looking online at the advert, they get to see that very car in operation. The reason we've always felt it important is because, unfortunately, like lots of people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in a photograph or description, but only to get them find out it actually has an obvious fault that shows up when you drive the car. Also done on these very quiet country roads, beautiful part of Gloucestershire. And this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on. And the hope is, of course, it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you go on a drive in the car. So coming to the car, with such a low mileage, you'd expect it to drive well, and it drives absolutely beautifully. Twist the key, engine starts instantly, settles to smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car for that matter. And temperature gauge is running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda car. It's a really cracking diesel engine, this one. It's got all the trademark qualities you'd expect of a Honda. They're tough, they're reliable, they're long lasting, they're cam chain driven, so there's no cam belts to worry about in them. But more than that almost is just the way they drive. It's very smooth and quiet, only really noticeably a diesel, at very low speeds, because even Honda can't engineer that out completely. But on the move, you put your foot down, you've got a sort of sweet edge to the engine, higher speeds, you'd barely know it's a diesel at all. And they are very economical. I've owned numerous 1.6 Hondas over the years, used in the HRV, CRV and the Civics, and in the Civics in particular, even doing driving that's not particularly conducive to getting good economy, I'd be getting sort of over 60 to the gallon. On longer trips, easily over 70. Just going with the flow of the traffic and, you know, keeping to the speed limits. But a very flexible engine. You can be up in a higher gear very quickly to maximise the economy. Engine then feeds through into the clutch and gearbox. Clutch in the car, of course, absolutely perfect. Smooth, bike points exactly where it's meant to be. And then you've got this lovely 6-speed manual gearbox. Honda make huge efforts to ensure that the primary controls, in fact all of them, but particularly the sort of the steering, the pedals, the gear lever, have an enjoyable tactile feel to the way they, you know, you feel and use them. And the gear change is very much part of that. It's cable operated, as most front-wheel drive cars are these days. Unfortunately, that does mean that on lots of its competitors, the gear changes can feel kind of light, lifeless, vague, almost like a PlayStation. This feels substantial, it feels meaty, it feels like it's going directly into the gearbox underneath, which it isn't, of course. And it feels exactly like it would have done when it was new. Then we come on to the steering and chassis of the car, which is, in the Civic's always been, you know, one of my favourite parts of the car, because it's a car that manages rarely to achieve two things. You know, this is a family car, so to get you from A to B as quickly as you possibly can, as comfortably as you possibly can, of course, and it does it brilliantly. The ride is very settled, it's smooth, it's cosseting, it irons out pretty much all road imperfections really, really well. But for those that still enjoy their driving and like to sort of engage with the car, it's brilliant. The steering's got weight to it, it's absolutely pinpoint accurate, and it works beautifully with the chassis. They work together wonderfully well. The track's dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. The chassis itself, you know, when you go through corners, it corners flat, and it corners, you know, it flows through corners of any type. So, you know, more challenging roads don't faze the car at all. The car obviously feels solid on the road as well. Brakes are superb on the car, they're powerful, there's no pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, so all in fine fettle. It is, by the way, going to be heading off for an independent MOT, hopefully today, if not tomorrow, so we have no input. But all these things are obviously going to be checked as a matter of course through that MOT. And then finally coming inside the car, you know, this, as I always say in Civic videos, this is where, you know, everything sort of, it is fact-based, I'm telling you what I'm really feeling, but, you know, the dash design is an opinion-based thing. In my eyes, I think it looks fantastic, but it is one of these interiors that sort of generates two schools of thought, and I think that's really good, because it means that, you know, because it polarizes opinion, it's generally that's a sign of a good design to me. But it's not just for show, it's actually to work ergonomically, and it does it brilliantly. First of all, it's beautifully made, lovely textures and materials used. The most conventional part is the centre stack, not conventional in this case because it's got an upgraded stereo, which is rather nice, so the DAB stereo being fitted to the car. Down below that you've got a dual zone climate control system, so you have different temperatures side to side if you really want to. That pumps out lovely cold air, by the way. All of the switchgear, everything impresses that lovely quality damped feel that Honda give you with their switchgear. But my favourite part, always has been, always will be, is this two-tier design dash in front. Basically the upper deck is the stuff you're going to look at most regularly as you're driving along. So you've got an information display panel up high, so sort of for your radio and your ventilation readouts for sort of lower speed, that kind of stuff. But the one you're going to look at most regularly, of course, is your speed, and there it is, all by itself, white on black digital display. It's genius. It means I can look ahead at the road and whoever's on it, cyclists, cars, tractors, you name it, but I can keep my eye on my speed at all times without having to look down into the car. It's simply genius. Then down below that, more conventional podded dials. You've got your rev counter flanked either side by your temperature and fuel gauges. It's a wonderful interior, really, really is, and of course it's in simply lovely condition as well. I should point out you've got the fit of the USB port there, so that's there to be used, but can be hidden if needs be. But the point of the video is to pick up any sort of obvious issues on the car, of which there's absolutely nothing at all. It drives simply beautifully. On this test drive, by the way, because I've reset the trip meter, started from cold, so it's not ideal. I've averaged over 60 to the gallon, so it really does give great economy.